All right. Who else we got on here? Let me see who on here. Y'all say hello, 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 so I can shout y'all out real fast.
Hey everybody.
Oh, Kim
I
folk
see
on
bro
there.
on there. Is that brother or that daddy?
That's I don't know. I see Darren on here. Hey Darren. All right,
Hey Darren.
we got two cameras. What's up, cuz? We got two cameras going on, so I'm gonna be looking left, right. We're gonna be all over the place.
Yeah.
So tonight we're gonna be real brief. First and foremost, we just want to welcome all you guys. Thank y'all for tuning
Hey.
in tonight. We named this title Mask Off
Yeah.
for a specific reason. For those who just may have met us that think that, marriage is just a walk in the park.
Yeah.
It's not, and so we just want to open up, just tell y'all a little bit about us, uh, where we from, how we met, all that good stuff. We want to take the mask off to let y'all know, the struggles and how to overcome this. Hey, Doris, what's up, Kinfolk?
Hey.
So, we want to, babe, you want to give them a little something? So how we met and no
Well,
teaching tonight. We ain't got no notes. We just gonna be completely just open.
yeah.
So
Well, I know that initially, when Delvin and I were talking, we were wanting to do this video just to, first of all, encourage people and let you know that where we are today is not how people start. So when you're going through certain struggles and you're finding out how much you do not like about your spouse, does not mean that you married the wrong person. It does not mean it's time to give up, let go, throw in a towel, or we just too different to be together. So that's where Delvin and I wanted to start this video because, like you guys know, we started the YouTube channel. We haven't had time to post anything yet because of the busyness of schedules, but
right.
we wanted to just kind of start off at the basics, not all high and spiritual, and we will reach to that point, but we just kind of wanted to start at where we started, and that's the basics of how we met, and where we were when we began in marriage. And we'll kind of start in some other videos about, how we got to where we are today.
So how
So
we met was it was a cold summer. No, I'm joking.
you play too much.
So no. All right. So how we met? My sister-in-law. I was in the club.
Me too.
Back then. This was what 2009.
Yeah.
2009 we met and her sister approached me and she was like, "Hey, my sister thinks you're cute."
Just to be straight, I was not thirsty. I did not say my sister over there. She was just bold like that. She
Yeah.
didn't care.
And she'll watch it later. So, her sister came up to me. She was like, "Oh, my sister think you cute." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, let me see a picture of her." And so she pulled her phone out. I was like, "Oh yeah. She cute. I've seen her before, And I was like, "Well, give her my number, or we can exchange numbers. We'll chop it up." So, I waited, because I was a player. I waited.
Boy.
I waited for about 3 or 4 days. I ain't call her right off top, I ain't. Come on now. So I waited for about 3 or 4 days. I called her, and she missed the call. She must have been busy or whatever. She calls me back, and I had, when the phone rung, I was like, "Oh man, this, let me shut the world down. This that girl." So she called. She was like, "Yes, did someone call Chel'C?" And I had my deep voice on. I was like, "Yeah, this your husband."
That is exactly what he said. He is not even over exaggerating. That was the first thing he ever said to me.
Yeah. So I said, "This your husband," and boom, here we are, 9 years, 10 years later. No, but man, in that, I think I spoke something into, I spoke life into that, not knowing that we would be here. But this is the reason why we did this video is because of the struggles that came with that part. And you want to just give a little quick testimony or give some early challenges that we faced.
Well, where do I start?
I mean, you can go from finances to the blended
Everyone
family.
that you could think of,
Yeah.
every struggle that new couples, new married people have, finances, blended families, being overprotective of our kids, feeling like, you don't love my child like I love my child. You'll never do for my child like I do for my child. Attitudes, we were not as meek and humble as we are today. We popped off, we fought, not physically, but verbally and emotionally was enough. We had a lot of issues, a lot of miscommunication. Everything he said, I had my guard up. Everything he said, everything I said, he had his guard up. I mean, just if he said red, I was like, why? You know, like, why it always got to be red? It was never an agreement. Right. Everything was always his word against mine when we first got married. What's some other challenges that we had? Because we was even arguing about going to church, y'all. Yeah. Like, what church to go to. It was crazy. Every area that could be attacked was attacked. Sexually, all of that. Every challenge that you can think of. And I know when people see us today, it's like, you know, man, that's goals. Please don't make us goals, you know, because we still have certain things that we struggle with. But, well, I'm not even going to say that we struggle with, that we're challenged by, because we don't struggle with the same things, and we don't struggle with near as much today because we've changed our attitudes towards certain issues that we have in our marriage. And really, that's the basics of how you really just come out of all that fighting, is changing your attitude about the differences that you have. It doesn't mean get divorced.
Right, correct. I would say one of our biggest challenges for me, you know, as a man, you know, we always want to, you know, we have 4 roles. As a man, we are called to protect the house, provide the house, be the priest, and be the prophet, you know, hear from God. And my biggest issue was I wasn't financially stable. Yeah. You know, I was the type that, you know, I would get money. I had decent jobs, but I would blow through checks. And I mean, like, blow. You know, it wasn't no game with this. Like, when I say I blew through money, and, you know, and that's right, Corey, I'm glad you said that. But we never gave up, man. That's right. You know, even when times got tough, man, we learned to fight together. Yeah. And that's where, you know, that's the beauty of it. But my finances, I would go even as far as putting the account in negatives at times. Yeah. Now, what woman wanna deal with that?
Hey,
you know,
Austin.
What's up, Austin? So a lot of times, man, I would go living paycheck to paycheck, and that's not the will of God for your marriage. To you know, and we have kids. I have a wife, and at a time, you know, when I'm supposed to be providing, I felt very pitiful at times, knowing that. Man, I can't take my kids to Jumping World. I can't take my kids out to eat. I can't take my kids. I couldn't do a lot of things. And so I would really be in a dark place. Yeah. And so with that being said, man, I just want to encourage the men out there to, you know, link up with other brothers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Find other resources. Hang in there, you know, don't get down. Because I was down. Yeah. And a lot of people didn't know this because, for one, I have a silly sense of humor. I was always laughing. So, you know, depression does not look like that. Right. Depression looks like this. When you're always smiling, you never know. And then you look up, you're like, man, I wonder why they took their life. You know, you never know what people may be going through. And at that time, I was going through a lot. Yeah. And, you know, not being able to provide for my family, not really leading my family the way I was supposed to. And that hurt, you know, finances. So, that was another area.
Like that post I had shared, you know, like that was a very surreal moment when we got married, and 7 days later we into our, you know, newfound life, our marriage, our new home, apartment at that time, and he had to ask me for my wedding ring back. Correct. To pay bills, and I was just like, you know, Delvin played all day. So I was like, is he for real? Is he? You serious? And he was like, he had that look on his face like, yeah, no, I'm not joking. I'm serious. If we gonna be able to have somewhere to lay our head for the next month, I need that ring. And I gave it to him. I didn't have any other choice. I mean, you know, what was I supposed to do? And I didn't bash him for it, you know. It called some things to the carpet, but I didn't throw my marriage away in 1 week because I had to return my husband my wedding ring, because the ring was not what it was about. The ring was just a symbol. It was just a symbol, but that was very real when I had to give you my ring back.
Yeah, and I know that, and see, stuff like that hurt, you know. But here we are, 7 years later. Let me hold that up to both screens. 7 years later. YouTube, y'all see that? Facebook, y'all see that.
Yeah.
I had to bounce back. Another thing, man, trust. Trust because,
Oh, yeah.
man, if you don't have no trust, man, you can't get nowhere. Again,
It's a prison.
I was so horrible with finances. The job that I have now, I currently hold a position in safety. And, I wanted to, I think I was doing like sandblasting or something in construction. And I wanted to do safety. And it got to the point where I said, you know what, I have to step out on faith. At the time, that class costed
$1,000.
$1,000. Well, at that time, and with my wife's permission, we probably had about $1,500
Yeah.
in the
That.
savings. So I go to my wife and I say, "Babe, I want to take this class. I want to get off into this." This was 6-7 years ago, and she was like, "Nah,
Right.
we have $1,500 in the savings. You want to take $1,000 out and pay for a class? Nah, we're not doing that."
Yeah.
And so we got into it so bad, man. I wasn't saved then, so I was cursing probably. I don't know what I said.
Everything but a child of God. Everything.
And so I took that $1,000 and I went on and I paid for that class. We got into it so bad, so much so that, we didn't talk for about a week. We didn't talk for a week, and my wife ended up having a ectopic pregnancy. And we ended up losing a child. We didn't know that you were, 3 months pregnant? 2 months pregnant.
2. Yeah.
Lost a child. This is a part, man. I'm glad y'all on here, man. We doing this. This is mask off.
Yeah.
We want to show y'all the realness of marriage and the stuff that you go through, man. It's not peaches and cream. It's not a walk in the park. Where y'all see us at today, man, you wouldn't believe half the stuff that we have went through.
Yeah.
So I took the class, man, and Chel'C, she opposed it. She was not for it at the time because
I strong on that. I was like, oh no.
I was horrible with money. I had not shown myself worthy or proved myself that I could be good with money yet.
Yeah.
So why should I take $1,000 out of the $1,500 that we had? But thank God that I had to literally step off that boat and walk. I had to step out and walk by faith and not by sight, and not what it looked like. I had to literally walk.
Yeah.
And remember, man, God said, he got promises for us. And so once I started walking, I'm telling you, God is so good. It's the reason why I say that is because a lot of people have struggled getting safety jobs. Well, we went to a party. Here's a nugget for y'all, holy rollers. Don't be so holy that you can't go to, be around some people that forget where you come from.
Yeah.
We went to a house party, and the house party that I ended up going to, I ended up meeting a gentleman. He was like secluded, but I met him and he got my first safety job. I got a safety job within like a week.
Yeah.
That's how powerful God is. And God basically said, I won't move until you move. So I had to move and get into a position. But, trust, that was another area. What other area did we struggle in?
I just, like you said, I trusted, I struggled with trusting you with money because, like you said, you had been so poor at your distribution of it that it made me unsecure. And every woman, I don't care what region of the world you go to find her, every woman's greatest need is security.
Yeah.
And my greatest need was breached because my husband just was not, he made me feel like we were living on a whim. And it's like, okay, whatever happens today or tomorrow, we living for the day. Whatever happened tomorrow, it happened tomorrow. And I understand that to a certain degree, but it did not make me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so him wanting to take that job really made me uneasy because I'm like, here you are blowing 1,000 of I don't even think it was $1,500.
It might have been 12.
It may have been 12. Here you are blowing most of what we have, and you want me to trust you? And I was just like, no, that's not gonna happen. And like he said, we didn't talk. I know some people be like, oh, y'all just didn't talk a week. That's a long time. That's not normal.
Walk right by each other.
It was like he was a fly on the wall. And I had absolutely nothing to say to him. And in all of that was going on, we didn't even realize that we was brewing a whole baby in my body. And here I am stressed. Here I am angry, mad at my husband, mad about the situation. And we lose a child that we weren't expecting it. We didn't even know that the baby was there. I was literally on the floor at my job, dying on the floor, hemorrhaging from the inside out. And I had to crawl out into my best friend's car, Montrese Irvin. She had to come pick me up. And I know Alexis Harris was there and a couple of more girls that some of us may know some of the same people. But I had to crawl out of there because I'm dying. I'm under all this stress. I'm miscarrying a baby. Just a whole bunch of stuff because I was stressed out about not trusting Delvin. Because I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe with my husband in so many areas. You didn't trust me.
Yeah.
Why you didn't trust me?
I don't even know. I guess. Let me see. I didn't trust you because of all the stuff that I seen coming up and the past relationship that I came out of. So here's my nugget to y'all right here. Before you dive into a new relationship, do a relationship resume with the person that you get involved with.
For real.
Check and see what did they do. What people just don't just up and get into relationship all the time. Like January, February, March, they in a new relationship. July, they single and ready to mingle. Then August, they back into a relationship. You need to check that.
Yeah.
And so being that I had some past relationship. This is no slug at the person that I was previously with or with my child's mother or whatever. But I had some bad experiences. And so, being that I had bad experience, I brought the bad experience into the new relationship. And therefore, I had my guard up against the woman that God had for me at the time. So, yeah, trust issues, finances, what else? Come on, mask off, everything.
I'm trying to think.
Give the people what they want.
It was so much. And it's not that we so far removed from it. It's just that I've tried to live beyond it so much to where I just, you know how the Bible says, love keep no record of wrong. Like I really feel like when you free from it, sometimes it can be hard to remember, depending on how traumatizing it was. So,
Correct.
what are some other things that we struggle with? Because I know we struggled with.
Let's talk about the church. Let's talk about church.
Okay.
Church, we could not get on the same page. I would say. Chel'C was more spiritually mature than I was. I still wanted to run the streets on Saturday nights and then turn around and try to go to church, but I wasn't fed. Here's a key component. Even if you're not being fed in the church, you and your spouse or whoever you're dating at the time, y'all need to be somewhere where you can grow together. Me and Chel'C will be teaching in Lamar November 3rd about growing as one. If y'all get a chance, come check that out. But I think that's very important that you get somewhere, get grounded and grow together. But we had spats about going to churches.
Yeah.
That's how much the enemy, I believe the enemy was fighting us so much because he knew where we would be today. And being said, we couldn't get it together.
Well, I remember telling you that, great pastor, loved him dearly. But I remember asking Delvin, have you ever taken me and the kids to dinner and we sat and watched you eat and the rest of us were hungry? Have you ever done that? He was like, that's dumb. Why would you even ask me that? No, I said, well, that's how I feel when we go to church. I feel like you're the only one who's eating and me and the girls are sitting there starving. Like we are not getting any substance. Love, and maybe because I didn't understand the word the way I understand it now. Shout out to Pastor Perry and Lady Charlotte Perry. Yeah. I love our spiritual leaders.
That's right.
Because they have removed the veil on our eyes, and really God has used them in an instrumental way to get us where we are today. But we were me and my kids were malnourished. And Delvin wasn't even eating. Delvin was just so attached to his relationship with the pastor that he was in the church for 5 years and he never did anything to serve the ministry ever. So I'm like, you're a bench member. Like, nah, I don't want to be at a church where I'm just a bench member. I want to be where we growing, we flourishing. Our kids want to come. I want to come. I don't want to come just to be on roll call. And so we were arguing about that. And he told me, I will never leave this church. So you can, yes. Somebody came to him and prophesied to him that he was going to be joining Word of Restoration. He didn't receive it. And 2 weeks later, he was walking me to the front of the church to join the church.
Yeah, I made that decision. I'm a big time leader. But yeah, I apologize for saying that.
Yeah, you did. Well, I mean, it's evident that
I was ignorant, just I'm the man. Beat my chest. I'm the man. We're gonna do what I say.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that, and so I was wrong. So I'll say that publicly. I was wrong.
He admitted to it.
I don't remember saying it, but if I said it, I was wrong. I don't think I said it though. But anyways, man, how do we overcome this?
It's a whole lot more, but we ain't gonna just be long-winded.
Yeah. I can't get off into because the list is not exhausted.
Right.
But the main thing, go ahead.
When it comes to the blended family and the other biological parent, if we're gonna be very real, both of us felt some type of way about the other. Like Delvin felt some type of way about Tamirani's dad. I felt some type of way about Devin's mom, and it wasn't necessarily because they had done anything directly to us. It was just, I guess that's the conflict that comes when you're in a blended family. And it's just like a territorial thing. Like, well, they not gonna be running what go on in this house. And although that's true, the perception behind it, or the way we were trying to handle it, was controlling on our perspective, like him with controlling me and me with controlling him because of how we felt about the outside parent. Subsequently, we couldn't love the kids. I couldn't love Devin, and he couldn't love Tamirani the way he really desired to when we feel some type of way about the other parent. You can't say you love this thing wholeheartedly when you don't even like the source that it come from. That's impossible.
You have to get the other parent under control, because if you allow them to have freedom in your new relationship, it's gonna forever cause friction.
That's true.
Somebody need to write that down. Don't let these exes have freedom in your relationship, or it's gonna cause friction. Mm-hmm. Lord have mercy. I need to preach that one.
But what if it's not even about them having influence in the relationship? It may just be like, how some days you may have had to do something extreme, and I'm like, why you have to do all of that? Or me, I may have had to do something extreme, and you like, okay, nah, you shouldn't be having to do all of that. And it caused us to feel a certain type of way about the other person. Now, that's where we were back then. Today, we all have a great relationship.
Correct. Yeah.
Wonderful relationship. Love it. Love it. Love them. And I'm proud to say that we are where we are today. I know it wasn't just something that we did so great, but just the prayers that we had prayed, and just the different things, the different practices that we put into play in order to get where we are with them today. But yeah, that was definitely something that we really struggled with. A lot of times the husband may feel like the wife is succumbing to certain requests by the child's father because she don't want him to, reject his child, meaning the biological dad. Like, well, I'm going to go ahead and do this because if I don't, then he not going to do what he needs to do for the child. Or the husband will go to an extreme for their child because they're like, well, I don't want her to jack up my child support or whatever. And it feels like control that's hanging over you. And then it causes your spouse to feel some kind of way about the other person. It does. It's inevitable. It's something that it's something that a lot of people face, but you have to deal with it and get it under control. And sometimes it's just you. It's in your head. It may not even be anybody else. It may not, but that's a real struggle.
Yeah, man.
That's a real struggle.
Especially in a blended family more so, you have to work. And I mean work. The Bible says in Ephesians 4 that you have to be diligent about being united, being one. The Bible also says in Mark 3:25, a house divided will not stand. So you have to take away all these division points.
Yeah.
Everything that divides your house, and make sure blended family, traditional family, get on one accord. And stay on one accord. And that's why I think we were able to succeed at, because we were able to get on the same page. We stopped letting outsiders influence the inside of our marriage relationship. And so we got over the hump.
Yeah, because sometimes people will, sometimes you'll find yourself arguing with your husband and your wife, and it don't even be nothing between y'all. Don't have nothing to do with you. It don't even be nothing between y'all, but you find yourself arguing every single day about this thing or this person. And it's like, why do we keep going around this same mountain about this? I can't do anything about that. That thing or that person was a part of the picture when I came into the relationship. Why we keep fighting about this?
Correct.
It's crazy, you know?
That's good.
But I know that this may sound bizarre, sound strange to y'all, like we never thought, or we never knew. Well, that's the way that it should have been. And not because we were being fake, but because we cared about each other enough that even when we got on each other's nerves, we did everything to protect one another.
And protect
even
the
from our especially our covenant. Even when we didn't have the information or the knowledge that we have today. And we did everything to protect one another from our families, especially our families. Because when families get involved, they're always going to be biased, and they're going to go with the person that they love. And typically that's their family member. And that's not what we wanted. Because when I'm not mad at Delvin no more, I don't need y'all looking at him crazy. Or when he not mad at me no more, I don't need to not be, I don't need to be uninvited to your house every time he comes. I want to be able to come with my husband too. So we had to do what we had to do to protect one another as well, although it wasn't easy. And we did have conversations with certain people, but it was only those people that we knew we were safe with. And we trusted. Just because you can't keep that stuff bottled up.
That's right.
You can't keep it bottled up.
That's right. So that was the recording, low connection. All right, YouTube. Hey, YouTube, I'm sorry. We just been neglecting y'all. All right. Do we have time for some questions? Maybe we can take one or two, three questions.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
If y'all still on here, why is it saying low network connection?
I don't know.
Hold on, y'all hang in there. Hold up. Wow. Let me see if I can get on this Wi-Fi. If y'all on here, if y'all can still hear me, give me a thumbs up or say hello, hey, something. This would happen on the first night we trying to do this YouTube video. Mask off. Mask off.
Is that
okay, thumbs up. Can y'all see me? It seems like we losing people, but it's cool though. We got the surface. We got on these. All right, here we go. 15. All right. 14. All right, cool. So we back on. All right, so we have time for one or two questions. We're trying to keep it under the 30-minute mark. If y'all have any questions, again, we're gonna be at what's that church name? Neighborhood Missionary Baptist Church. Baptist.
That's it.
We're gonna be there November 3rd. We'll be teaching on growing as one. Man, we already start studying this thing out. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be pretty tough. So we have any questions? Come on, going once, going twice. Anything? YouTube? No?
Maybe not today. We quiet today.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all joining in with us again. There's no such thing as a perfect marriage. What's the saying? Real marriages are not perfect, and perfect marriages are not real. Remember that.
That's right.
You can take that to the bank and cash that. We just wanted to get some foundation set. Me and Chel'C have been through the trenches. So, I don't know why this thing keeps on cutting off. But we done for the night. Peace.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank y'all for joining us.
We not